Mabuhay, we are Group 7 and we are tasked to report about Philippine cuisine. And here are the reporters: Russell Abellan, Rioki Laurente, Edna Lusabia, Jaela May Polo, and Rachel Valderrama. The first reporter would be Russell Abellan.
What is Filipino or Philippine cuisine? Philippine cuisine is a rich and diverse mix of flavors and influences that have been shaped by the country's history, geography, and culture. The food and cooking style in the Philippines have evolved over many centuries, beginning with the Austronesian roots and incorporating a range of international influences. Today, Philippine cuisine is a fusion of many different flavors and ingredients from around the world. Some traditional dishes include adobo, a tangy savory stew made with meat and vinegar; sinigang, a sour soup with meat, tamarind; and lechon, a roasted pig dish often served at celebrations. Other popular dishes include sisig, a sizzling pork dish; kare-kare, a peanut stew; and halo-halo, a dessert made with shaved ice, milk, and various toppings. So one of the most significant influences on Philippine cuisine was the Malay. Malay people who first settled in the archipelago thousands a year ago. Their cooking techniques, such as grilling over an open flame and boiling food in coconut milk, can still be seen in many traditional dishes. Spanish Spanish colonization in the 16th century also had a profound impact on the country's cuisine, introducing ingredients like garlic, onions, and tomatoes, as well as cooking methods like frying and sautéing. Malays from Malaysia brought with them the knowledge of preparing hot chilies and the use of ginataan or coconut milk in sauces to balance the spiciness. Chinese traders and immigrants have also played an important role in shaping Philippines cuisine, introducing dishes like pancit noodles and lumpia spring rolls. American colonization in the early 20th century brought with the influences from American fast food, such as burgers and fried chicken, and as well as canned and processed food. The Spaniards introduced a Mediterranean style of eating and preparing food. Spain also introduced cooking with seasoning such as garlic, onions, tomatoes, sweet peppers, and vinegar. The US military introduced good sheep from their country such as mayonnaise, hot dogs, hamburgers, and apple pies. Overall, Philippine cuisine is a unique blend of different cultures and traditions, resulting in a rich and diverse culinary landscape that is enjoyed by locals and visitors alike.
Philippines is an archipelago of 7,107 islands covering 300,000 square kilometers or 30 million hectares, 298,170 square kilometers of land, and 1,830 square kilometers of water. It has three major island groups, which are Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The Philippines is recognized as one of the world's 17 megadiversity countries with more than 50,000 species of flora and fauna, more than 65% of which are endemic. It is also one of the world's biodiversity hotspots with a large number of endangered and threatened species, making it a global conservation priority area. The Philippines had an estimated population of 100,699,395 in 2015, of which 44.4% is urban and 55.6% is rural. The country's labor force is around 41 million people or 61.3% of the total population aged 15 and over, of whom 30% are employed in agriculture, 16% in industry, and 54% in services. Of the total land area, arable land constitutes 18.7% with 17.9% in permanent crops. In 2012, there were 16,300 square kilometers of irrigated land. Approximately 45% of agricultural lands are moderately or severely eroded. Approximately 27.3% of the country is vulnerable to drought, floods, and typhoons. Land degradation exacerbates the effects of natural disasters, causing massive landslides and flooding.
So next we have the people of Philippines. The ethnically diverse people of the Philippines collectively are called Filipinos. The ancestors of the vast majority of the population were of Malay descent and came from the Southeast Asian mainland as well as from what is now Indonesia. So contemporary Filipino society consists of nearly 100 culturally and linguistically distinct ethnic groups. Of these, the largest are the Tagalog of Luzon and the Cebuano of the Visayan Islands, each of which constitutes about one-fifth of the country's total population. Other prominent groups include the Ilocano of Northern Luzon and the Hiligaynon of the Visayan Islands of Panay and Negros, comprising roughly one-tenth of the population each. The Waray-Waray of the islands of Samar and Leyte in the Visayas, and the Bicol of the Bicol Peninsula together account for another one-tenth. Filipino mestizos and the Kapampangans of South Central Luzon each make up small portions of the population. So next we have the characteristics of the people. So first we have Filipinos are known to have strong family ties. This is why it's common to see different generations or multiple families living in a single residence. The family is at the center of the Filipino community. Children are not expected to leave their parents' house until they get married. Even after then, many couples opt to stay with or close to their or their spouse's parents. The value that most Filipinos put into caring for one's family can also be seen as one of the reasons why nurses and caregivers from the country provide their patients and clients with a high level of care. Next, Filipinos are naturally hospitable. Guests can be expected to extend a warm welcome to their guests regardless of where they came from, how well they know their host, and why they're visiting someone's home. Hosts typically provide their guests with food and entertainment, and if there's time, a tour around the local destinations. In the Philippines, no one lives with an empty stomach. Before they leave, guests are even entreated to take home pasalubong or souvenirs, which often come from the form of delicacies or local sweets. Next, optimism, humor, and positivity are valued traits in the Philippines. In the face of difficult or challenging situations, members of the community are encouraged to look at the brighter side of things. The inclination for finding the good in the bad can be traced to the country's location, which lies in the path of typhoons and sits along the Pacific Ring of Fire. In a place where natural calamities are commonplace, humor and positivity work as a coping mechanism, much like how some children laugh to hide their embarrassment after slipping or falling. Next, spirituality is deeply embedded in Filipino culture. A form of animism was already being practiced in many pre-colonial societies, and Islam has been firmly established in the southern islands even before the pre-Hispanic era. These days, religion still plays a big part in society and the everyday lives of Filipinos. The Catholic Church's views still affect the passing of some laws. Most towns still hold fiestas to honor their patron saints, and many regular non-working national holidays are dedicated to celebrating various religious activities and events. To many Filipinos, religion helps shape their values and principles. And lastly, we have respect for the elderly. Filipinos have high regard for their elderly, including their parents. Even young adults still practice taking their elders' hand and saying mano po when they arrive at their homes.
Food of the Philippines. What makes Filipino food unique? Filipino food is simple to cook and always a pleasure to serve and eat. The blend of flavor and texture makes them stand out. Also, the warmth extended to family and friends motivates Filipinos to cook with love. The typical Filipino meal is composed of vegetables, seafood, dairy, meat, and rice. In fiestas, food is displayed in its appetizing and mouth-watering color in every home as aesthetic. The naturally produced aroma seduces anyone and traps them in effective means. Its smell makes it unique because of the secret concoction of vegetables, herbs, oils, citrus, and spices. Traditional food in the Philippines. Filipino dishes offer unique blends of Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, Western, and Pacific Islander flavors due to influences from colonization eras. First one is tapsilog. Tapsilog is a staple breakfast dish which is cured beef, is seasoned with a sauce, a mixture of a soy sauce, calamansi juice, brown sugar, minced garlic, and black pepper. The fried garlic rice exhibit a strong aroma and topped with a sunny side up egg. Next is buko pie. Coconut meat is baked with sweet condensed milk inside to make a pie. Some versions add vanilla, pandan, and almond. Next is arroz caldo. This comfort food is usually eaten on rainy days. It's chicken soup with rice and egg making a thick porridge. Add ginger, toasted garlic, scallions, and black pepper for flavor. You may add calamansi and fish sauce as well. Next is lumpia or turon. This food is always present at Filipino parties. Rice paper wraps traditional Chinese lumpia ingredients but without egg. Turon is lumpia containing banana having sugar or caramel sauce in the wrappings. Next is pancit. Filipino noodles have many variations. Remarkable is pancit bihon, soy sauce, chicken, pork, and vegetables. And pancit palabok like shrimp, shrimp gravy, crushed pork rinds, and boiled egg. Next is siopaw. It's the Filipino adaptation of Chinese steamed buns and filled with meat, vegetables, and sometimes a hard-boiled egg. Next is tinola. Tinola is the Filipino chicken noodle soup, which is ginger, onions, and fish sauce flavored the nutritious broth. The healthier ingredients are tender chicken, unripe papaya, and siling labuyo. Next is ube. This native purple yam can be used from cocktails to pastries for lush color and flavor. Ube halaya or jam and ube ice cream are some sweet treats. Most famous food in the Philippines. First one is balot. It's a developing duck embryo that's boiled and scooped inside its shell. Usually it is sprinkled with salt and poured with vinegar. Next is kinilaw. Kinilaw is the Filipino ceviche consisting of slices of raw fish marinated in vinegar with calamansi juice, salt, pepper, and chili peppers. The name kinilaw literally means eaten raw. Next is sinigang. Sinigang is the most salient Filipino sour meat stew. Usually tamarind serves as a souring agent. Lots of vegetables like okra, water spinach, radish, onions, and eggplant. Pork, chicken, beef, and fish can be used as a meat. Next is kare-kare. Kare-kare is a stew with oxtail, ox stripes, veggies, topped with ground roasted peanuts, onions, and garlic. It is served with a shrimp paste, which is the bagoong. Next is sisig. Pork sisig is the most common form, or chicken and tuna can be used. It makes use of chopped pig ears, jowls, and liver, onion, and chili peppers. It is served on a sizzling skillet with a raw egg on top and calamansi. Next is adobo. Named the national dish of the Philippines. It is the most famous. Chicken or pork is braised in vinegar and soy sauce, then seasoned with garlic, black pepper, and bay leaves. The meat is cooked in stew or marinated, then pan-fried to produce or a umami dish. Last is the halo-halo. It is a perfect dessert to beat the summer heat. The ingredients are shaved ice cream, and condensed milk, cold fruits like lychee, mango, banana, jackfruit, then leche flan, sweet beans, jellies, cornflakes, and coconut strings are suggested ingredients. It literally means to mix everything. There really is no exact formula or recipe.
Flavors of the Philippines. Filipino cuisine is often described as a balance between three primary flavors: salty, sweet, and sour. This flavor profile, with its mix of Asian and Western influences, carries much history, variety, and ingredients unique to the country. One way to create healthy habits is to appreciate worldly heritage and embrace cultural foods and seasoning. Rice is considered the ultimate staple in Filipino food. When enjoying this grain, consider choosing brown over white rice to obtain additional fiber with the power to lower cholesterol and reduce risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Aside from rice, most Filipino meals contain a source of protein, example, chicken, pork, fish, and seafoods, are enhanced by different spice packed sauces and marinades to make for a delicious cultural meals. Spices not only provide strong flavor and aroma but also offer a variety of nutrients and related health benefits. For example, Filipino cuisine often uses bawang or garlic, which provides manganese, vitamins B, C, and selenium. In addition, garlic improves immunity, supports heart health, and even protects brain health. Another common spice used in Filipino soups is luya or ginger, which provides a pleasant acidity that balances the richness of many dishes. Ginger contains vitamin C, magnesium, and potassium along with anti-inflammatory compounds to aid in pain relief. 12 Filipino cooking methods you should know about. Filipino dishes are some of the most uncomplicated to make. Most ulam recipes require only a few ingredients and can be prepared without a need for elaborate tools or cooking methods. Filipino dishes are rather straightforward even with all the influences from Chinese, Malay, and Spanish cuisines. First Filipino cooking methods is frito. Cooking food in fat or oil is called frito or frying. Pan-fried food requires turning once or twice to ensure it is evenly cooked. Pork, chicken, and fish are the most common ulam items Pinoys use for frying. Next is gisa. Gisa or ginisa translates to saute, one of the cooking methods used a lot in the Filipino dishes. It is a common first step for many stews and stir fries where chopped onions and minced garlics are are cooked in a pan until aromatic. A good indication to add your next ingredients and when the aroma fills your nose and in your kitchen. Next is halabos. Halabos is accomplished by steaming or cooking seafoods in its juices. In some instances, carbonated beverage and lemon are used to cook a specific shellfish. One good example for this is a halabos na hipon. Next is ihaw. Grilling meat, chicken, and fish over fire or charcoal is known as ihaw. Most proteins cooked over uling or charcoal are marinated before cooking. Soy sauce, vinegar, calamansi, and sometimes ketchup are used to infuse flavor into proteins. Next is lilaga or boiling is commonly used to make many soups. Among the popular recipes are nilagang baka, bulalo, sinigang, and puchero to name examples. These dishes starts with meat, cartilage, marrow, and veggies. Boil in hot liquid. The secret to perfecting nilaga is the right doneness of ingredients and a flavorful base. Next is kinilaw. Kinilaw is the method of cooking proteins in acid and spices. Fresh fish, shrimp, or oyster are some popular choices to make a Filipino version of ceviche. They are also toasted and cooked in a prepared dressing without a heat source. However, the main difference between them is the choice of acid used to make the dish. Next is busa. The process of toasting ingredients with a small amount of oil is referred to as busa. The procedure is often associated with cooking castañas, dilis, corn, and peanuts. This is typically done in a kawa or wok over hot coals and wood. Next is tinapa. Tinapa is a Filipino cooking technique that extends food shelf life through preservations. Here, meat and fish undergo a sun-drying or smoking process to give them a distinct salty smoky flavor. Next is hurno. Baking or roasting in an oven is called hurno or hinurno in Filipino. Aside from roasting chicken, other local recipes that go in the oven include lechon belly roll, baked macaroni, bibingka, and leche flan. Next is sangkutsa. Quickly cooking or parboiling meat until soft is called sangkutsa in Filipino. The objective is to cook meat halfway instead of cooking it thoroughly. Recipes like kare-kare, pancit, bagnet, and caldereta use the sangkutsa method. Next is banli. Banli is the act of scalding or blanching food in boiling water for several seconds. After it is plunged into a ice bath or halt the cooking process. When done correctly, blanched food enhance the color of veggies, making them more appetizing to eat. Last is pinais. Pinais is a cooking procedure similar to binalot. Ingredients like meat, seafoods, and fish are wrapped in a banana leaf or pandan leaf before being steamed. This pinais method is healthy and lends to sweet aroma to any dish cooked in the parcel.